So everybody, how you doing today? This is Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I am the host for Clear Blue Radiance, and today is January the 19th, I believe it is. Got on my glasses. January the 19th, 2023. This is episode number 106. I just realized that today. Today's episode is number 106. That means the Resident Essentials YouTube channel has been running a long history of getting us on here. And I'm glad to be here. Well, welcome to Clear Blue Radiance. I'm the host, Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, and I've been a spiritual counselor for over 40 plus years. I enjoy helping people such as yourself have greater clarity in your life and also to find, discover, or redefine your purpose in life. Now, our purpose changes as we change, as we evolve. We're constantly changing from the inside out. Doctors, scientists, physicists, chemists have proven all of that over the years, right? So we're always making these shifts and these changes, and this is good for us to know. And so today's topic is the beauty of grace. The beauty of grace dwells deep down inside of you. That's what I chose to talk about today. And the reason for that is that word gets thrown around a lot. The word grace gets thrown around a lot. One of the things that I find about that is, and this is not, looking down on Christian churches and things like that, but I remember a lot of people when I was growing up, a lot of elders in the church, and someone would say, "Elder so and so, Sister so and so, how you doing today?" And the first phrase I would kind of hear that would come out of their mouth is, "I am highly favored and blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored." And I would ask my mother, "What do they mean by that?" And she says that's how they describe grace, the word grace, within a biblical setting. I said, "Well, I never seen it, expressed like that." She said, "But that's a phrasing that the elder men and elders, men and women in the church, the pastors, the ministers, you name it, higher up, those who are having considered having a very good life, everything running smoothly for them. So they would say, 'I'm blessed and highly favored,' meaning they have grace on them in their life." Well, as time went on, I started looking at that. And what I found out was this: sometimes when people said that, they were talking not from their experience with what grace is, but a lot of it had to do with their ego. A lot of it had to do when they said it because they were talking from the level of their ego, the personality of the ego. They weren't saying it. Not everyone was saying it because they meant it on a deep rooted level, because the people that were saying it, they weren't being humble. And I remember, you know, going in and out of these churches even as a teenager, and I would see a whole that doesn't look like grace to me. That doesn't look like someone saying just a minute ago that they're blessed and highly favored. And then in church, you would see people gossiping. The same person gossiping, spreading rumors. Okay. Because the word gossip actually comes from a play on words or actions out of a little bit of colonial times and also other well, I wouldn't say just not really colonial times, but at a time when People were writing their papers, starting papers, right? And they needed to get the news of the village. So, in order to get the news of the village, they would send out their workers, their employees. And what were they doing? They were going out into the pubs, into the little restaurant establishments, into places where business was being transacted. And they would say, go and sip and listen. Go sip, listen. So you can imagine people going down to their favorite tavern, right? And they want to get some news out there. So go get a drink or get some coffee, get a snack or a sandwich, some soup, and just sit down and listen. So that's where that word gossip or gossip came from in that sense. Well, to get back to what I'm saying and how this factors in is people were speaking from the level of the ego. People weren't speaking from the level of humility within themselves. They weren't speaking from always from the state of gratitude. They were actually, and that's the way it should be. When a person said, well, I feel I'm blessed and highly favored, okay, because they seem to be having things going on quite well in their lives. But they need to be what? Grateful. They need to have that mental gratitude already going on up here in their consciousness. So often when I would hear that, I would be able to look around and see. Most of the time, I did not see someone living in the sense of being humble, being grateful for the things that they have. But it's not about also what you have. It also has to do, grace also has to do with you giving. Like, how much are you giving in the world? It's not just you going to, let's say, work with a volunteer organization, because some people want to be seen even doing that. They want people to notice, hey, I'm working with this organization here and this organization over here, and I'm volunteering my time and my effort, but I'm making my face known to be seen. Well, usually you kind of fall into a track called boredom because you're doing it, but you're not doing it from your heart. So, one of the things about the principle of grace is to realize that it doesn't separate you from other people. No, grace doesn't separate you. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't take you out and put you up on a mountain somewhere where you feel like you got rank over somebody. It doesn't put you on a pedestal. Your ego can put you on a pedestal, but not humility, not grace, not gratitude. Those things don't put you on a pedestal. Those things put you where people need to get to you. People need to see you, the people who need assistance or help. That's where grace places you. But here's the very unique thing about grace: you were born with grace. Everybody was born with the state of grace built into their spiritual metaphysical hardware, software. It's built within you. It's not something that had to be planted. It's not something that had to be earned by you at all. It's always walking right there within you. It's a living principle, it's a living maxim. What is a maxim? That's the absolute truth. A principle is a fundamental truth. So grace is a fundamental truth. It is also a maxim that came with you when you arrived on the planet. You just didn't put it into motion. Not everybody knows that grace is present, but we hear the word. You see, like an athlete, a ballet person, or a ballroom dancer. So oh, look at the grace, because grace and beauty go together. So look at the grace and the beauty that they present on the floor. That couple, that couple is out there dancing, swing dance, boogie woogie, whatever you name it, Chicago two steps, and they got it down so pat that they become the dance. They become the beauty of the dance and therefore personifying grace. Grace is almost effortless at times because we don't have to really get dressed up for it. You ain't got to wear a $900 pair of shoes. You don't have to walk around with a $2,000 wallet or purse. You don't have to do any of those things. You just have to be humble. You have to be in a state of gratitude, because if you're in a state of gratitude and your humility there, grace is going to show up. So grace is something, it's a principle, it's a maxim that never separates you, and it can't be separated from you. You have it with you all the time. It's not separated from you. It is already in you. And it's in you to be what? Compassionate, understanding, kind, more loving. To whom first? The answer is yourself. If you're not loving yourself unconditionally, that means you got to look at all the component parts of yourself. There's some component parts of myself that I don't even like, but I have to love on it in order to loosen it up, in order to work on it, in order to loosen it up more, in order to get it from being a distorted part of myself to being a well organized, polished part of myself that is more healing for myself. So, grace is this transformational, metaphysical, spiritual tool of greater transformation, greater change, greater clarity, greater gratitude, greater honesty, greater integrity. It gives you everything that you could ever ask for and more because it's already inside. That's why this says the beauty of grace, the awareness, the remembrance, the beauty of grace already dwells deep down inside of you. It's already here. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about how am I going to put grace, the principle and maximum of grace, into action for myself. You don't have to do that. Why? Because if you understand who you are, and you are this, because the beauty of grace, see, to understand it, the beauty of grace that is embedded through every part of your being, every cell, your memory, it's in you. It's basically like a spirit part of yourself inside of you, waiting for you to get your ego out the way so that it can operate fully through you into your life. So when we can comprehend just how valuable grace is, when you can comprehend that as a value in your life, it means it's worthy to have it, and it makes you worthy to have it, because once you recognize what it is inside of you and you see it as a beautiful essence, a beautiful part of you, once you understand that grace has always been there in your life, you will find that your life runs a little easier. It's not as difficult. You don't mind getting up in the morning to meet the day, so to speak. You don't mind clarifying in your mind and then declaring what it is in your mind, in your consciousness, and also be able to see it embedded in your consciousness and see it rolling around freely inside yourself. That's what grace has to do. It can't be hindered, it must be set free. It must be set free, and your ego must take a backstride or two to get out the way to let grace fully materialize in your life. And what grace manifests itself on the inside of you, it manifests itself in your consciousness. But then what you do, the decisions, your words, your actions, your deeds, how you speak to other people, how you carry your life, that is the outward expression of the grace. See, you can apply grace by loving yourself more, loving your family, loving your relatives, loving your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, even your own neighborhood. You got to see some goodness in it. Then grace will show up through you. Grace will surround you with many infinite things. Your grace will not only empower you, but someone who comes in touch with you, grace will empower their grace. They will start to seek out the grace inside of themselves. So, grace does not give you favor. Grace does not allow you to jump ahead of somebody else in line. Grace does not allow you to jump onto a pedestal so you could be high and above others. It's not a rank, but grace is a key that helps you unlock the doors to your true self. So, your true self is the reflection of the divine I am presence. Your true self is an extension, an infinite extension of that divine I am presence. It is an infinite expression of the divine I am presence in you, around you, a part of you, an integral part of you. Can't can't separate it from you. Your divine I am presence is a reflection and a gem, just like selenite. It's a gem in your life that eases your life. Why? Because it had to be already on the inside of you before you started seeing it manifest and materialize outside of you. See, grace shows up on everybody, but you may not know what you're looking at. I'm going to say that again. Grace shows up in everyone's life, but everyone may not know what they're looking at. But here are some of the key signs. Are you being compassionate in your life toward others? Are you being passionate, excited about living your life? Are you being equally excited about someone else growing successful every day? Are you more loving, more gentle, more kind to yourself as well as everyone else around you? You see, whatever we are doing in the state of gratitude that raises the bar for ourselves, we become like that little butterfly gazillion miles away in a tropical forest, flapping its wings rapidly and sending out a subtle wave of energy all the way around the world. We're like that droplet inside the bigger body of water called an ocean, yet it is distinctive unto itself. Put it underneath a magnifier and magnify it and magnify it, and you're going to see what? Some perfect water crystals. You're like that. So we watch what we say, we watch what we do, we honor the truth in everybody, we honor integrity in everybody. But look, you might say, well, you didn't get there like that. I said, no, I didn't. I had to work at it. I had, because see what grace does? It doesn't place you on a pedestal, it doesn't put you in a spotlight. What it does, it draws those things to you when it's your time. When it's your time to be upon a stage, looking out into thousands or 500 or 200 or a million people worldwide, then it's your time. Why? Because grace has shown up. Grace has already washed itself through your eyes. Grace is on your tongue when you speak. Grace is in your heart. It's already there. So when you allow it to be, when you allow the fundamental truth of all truths, which is called a principle, Principle, when you allow yourself to be involved with grace as a principle, then everything gets what? Bestowed upon you. But you won't be on a street corner saying, I'm blessed and highly favored. You won't be doing that. What you'll be doing is blessing someone else and giving them favor, not making them a favorite, but blessing them so their status goes up. And you will do that with sincerity and faith. You will do that with honesty and integrity. You will do that because you're a humble person. You're a humble person. You are this spiritual force inside of this frail body, waiting to be released. You're like the butterfly in the state of chrysalis, waiting to be birthed so what? It can flap its wings and fly. You see, no one needs to save you or me. No one needs to save you or me. We are here to find out who we are, remember who we are, grow in our awareness about who we are, and then what? Save ourselves. And when you keep your eyes open and observe everything around you, you can see that someone needs help. Help them. You don't need a grand display to help them. You don't need a marching band behind you to come up there to help them. No, you don't need that. What you have to do is love on yourself first. Put as much unconditional love inside of you. Raise your consciousness. See, we talk about higher consciousness, but you got to raise the consciousness. You got to raise your awareness. You got to expand your remembrance. When you do those things, then you will see more of grace what? Abound freely into your life. Now, you might say, is this guy a preacher? Yeah, I used to be. This guy a reverend? Yeah, I used to be that. This guy, I used to be that. I don't need the titles. I just need to share what I understand. And that's all I'm doing. I'm sharing what I understand. When that thing, that emblem back there says Circle of Grace One, it's not about me. It's about the person who taught me. Her name was Grace. She was the first Grace. So what I'm doing is I'm sharing these teachings with you. Some of the teachings she gave me, I acquired them by being in close proximity and observing. And then my time having to put them into motion, into action for myself. But best of all is seeing the grace that you came into the world with, see it evolve in you, see it have greater clarity bestowed upon you, and then watch you discover your purpose or watch you redefine your purpose. But most of all, find you growing, growing, and growing. Someone said the other day on TV I was watching, and I think this person said it because they heard someone else say it. But they said, not everybody in your life can go up the hill with you. Not everybody who's up the hill with you will go down the hill with you. Not everybody will swim a body of water with you. Not everybody will run and jog with you. Hey, if you ever read the story by Herman Hesse called Siddhartha, and that was his first name, Siddhartha Gautama, he was a wealthy prince, a sultan born within the walls of his parents' palace. But he never got a chance to see what death was like because they shielded him from death. He never had a chance to see poverty because they shielded poverty from him. He never saw somebody be angry. They shielded that. Sadness, they shielded that until he decided to go out into the world. And his world was what? Beyond the palace gates, and took some people with him, attendants with him. And some of them wound up in the end not even following him because he was making too many changes with himself. And he was, I would say, somewhat expecting them, since they were supporting him, they were his attendants, that they would somehow be there in the end with him. And that's where he winds up underneath the bodhisattva tree. I think that's how you pronounce it. You can look it up though. Maybe my pronunciation is a little off, but he was under that sacred tree and he fasted and he fasted. He became an ascetic along the way, but he kept fasting. But in the mix of his fasting, he was in meditation, he was in prayer. And finally, he reached what the yogis reached, nirvana and samadhi. Got in those two sacred places in the consciousness that God expanded, and everything became one and the same to him. He no longer saw himself separate from a bird, from an ant, from a squirrel, from a coyote, from a dog, from a cat, from a horse, from an elephant. He didn't see no difference. To him, it was all one and the same. Divinity touches everyone. Grace is embedded in everyone. No one is without grace in their life. And that's my message for today. Remember that the beauty of grace dwells deep down on the inside of you. This is Clear Blue Radiance. It's here on the Resonant Essentials YouTube channel. Be sure to come back to this YouTube channel, click subscribe, click on what you like, and be honest. If you don't like it, put a no, thumbs down. But if you do like it, click right up there so we can see it. If you're ever in Albuquerque, there's some fabulous classes and courses going on. You need to go to www.resonantessentials.com and click under practitioners and see all the beautiful practitioners that are there at Resonant Essentials with her. We even have a person that kind of does it remotely, and sometimes they come into town. They come from out of state. So, this is a beautiful thing. Look under the preferred businesses. We have a professional business coach in there. I'm even in there. Hey, if you're around on a Saturday, any given Saturday, most Saturdays, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., for a minimal fee, I'll teach you my Creative Path Work Meditation series. There are many things there. There are readers there. Tarot readers, healers, oracle card readers, Reiki people are there from Tuesday right on through Saturday. All you got to do is go to www.resonantessentials.com and click on the events page, opens up a beautiful calendar, and you can see all the different things that are going on. This is a great way to get to see what's going on into the center. There's lots of things happening in the center, and you would like to be there. We have a psychic and healing fair that goes on once a month, every second Sunday, free admission from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Reiki in there. We got other healers in there. Oh, God. We got people that can connect you with all sorts of energy in there. We have tarot readers. Somebody there will do numerology. I do numerology, but we got a wonderful practitioner by the name of Rosie Navarro. She's good at it as well. So you need to come in there on those second Sundays from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. and pay a minimal fee. You can get a reading from all of us there. I do celestial I am drawings. I see the energy in your auric field, and I tell you what it's about, and I actually draw it in for you. There's lots of things. Direct psychic readings, intuitive readings. Come on down. But stop by Saturday or Friday or Thursday, like today, or Wednesday and Tuesday, from about 10 a.m. or 12 noon right up to about 5, 6 p.m. See who's in there. See if you can connect. Get yourself a beautiful consultation or Reiki session. We have Reiki done by this beautiful person called Amber. And Amber's in there, I believe, every Tuesday. She's there with Nikki. Um, Nikki Phillip at Bruton Phillips, and she does oracle card readings. They both are in there on a Tuesday. You can get to see them. We got somebody there every day, going right into Saturday, Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 5. That's the usual time. So remember, go to www.residentessentials.com and click on all those links above and see what's going on. Because if you're here in the area, you can participate. There are a lot of courses, a lot of classes. Even Michelle is giving her beta class on metaphysics, the principles and foundations, or foundations and principles of metaphysics. And she's going to teach that right there at the center. So you need to email her at Michelle at residentessentials.com and find out how to sign up. That class is going to start on Wednesday, February the 8th from 5:30 p.m., I believe, to 7:30 p.m. There is a fee for it, so you need to get in touch with Michelle Vidal. She's the owner of Resonant Essentials. Email her at Michelle at residentessentials.com. You'll get all the information about what's going on. You can go to the Facebook group. We have Resident Essentials, the group. You can come there, check it out, and then you can see all the different events. There's an events page, Resident Essentials events. You can see all the events, all the classes, all the courses that are going on month to month, week to week, right there at Resident Essentials, located in the northeast section of Albuquerque, New Mexico, just above the intersection of Candelaria that runs east and west, and Eubank Boulevard that runs north and south. You want to turn right at 3107, right into Scottsdale Village, and you drive in past the chili chicken place, and parking lot opens up in that first next building right there with the black trim and the green. Enter through door number 34, and that's Resident Essentials. All right, I'm going to sign off right now. I feel like I'm doing a major commercial. I'm going to sign off. Thank you for joining me today. I had a great time, and also come back and replay this. If you like it, click a thumbs up. Okay. If you need to email me, just simply email me at iam.circleofgrace with the number one at the end at gmail.com, and I get right back in touch with you. Okay. Thank you for your time. See you real soon. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, and I'm the podcast host for Clear Blue Radiance. I'm here usually at 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time every Thursday. Take care now, and see you soon.